let the house settle in. By the way, I am having many fanboy moments here in this conference. Yesterday, I was listening to the polymath Sanjeev Sanyal, whom I am a great fan of. And today, the OG of Indian EdTech, Mr. Rajendra Pawar, it has been some conference for me. So maybe we shall get started. As the theme of this year's conference is All Eyes on India, I'll probably just wait for a minute. No, please. Big fan. Should be good. Right. As a theme of this year's conference is All Eyes on India, I thought that I should take you on a journey. A journey that starts 2,500 years back in our history, when India with Takshila was a pioneer in the field of education, and the journey that will end on today's day, where again the Indian EdTech is shaping the way the world is learning, the education space. We will talk about the opportunities that are in front of us, we will talk about the challenges that we'll face, and we'll talk about the latest kid on the block, the AI, and how it can really help us. We have 2,500 years to cover and only 9 minutes to cover that. So without further ado, let's get the ball rolling. My name is Ankur Vasisht. I am the head of products at LeadSquared. We have officially turned a teenager this year. Yes, we are a 13-year-old company now. Since our Series C funding in 2022, we have become a unicorn. We have over 2,000 customers, clientele across the world, 1,200 plus employees, but the fact that we take the most pride in is calling ourselves secure. We are compliant with all the major standards in the world, be it GDPR, HIPAA, ISO, you name it, we have it. Our efforts have been recognized by the major institutes of the world, Gartner, NASSCOM, Deloitte, everyone has recognized our efforts. But today we are not here to talk about LeadSquared. We are here to talk about us, education and India. So let's start with the journey that I was talking about. 2,500 years back, the University of Takshila was founded. A millennium later, a new university called Nalanda was founded. Both these universities became the center of learning. Students from across the world came into these universities to learn, collaborate, and innovate. These universities were ahead of their times, and it was the golden age of education, and we were truly learning at the speed of light. These universities also inspired few other universities across Morocco in Africa, Bologna in Italy, Sorbonne in France, and obviously the Oxford in England. All these universities went on to become the epicenter of innovation, economic growth, and most importantly, social transformation. But then the road of history is never straight because of the wars, political instability, economic inequality. We lost the initial advantage that these universities gave us. But then we are humans and our resilience always shine through. We found another way for us, the rise of online education and EdTech. This was truly a medium which can transcend above the barriers of wars and conflicts, inequality, instability, and whatnot. It can actually help us reach the masses. Since then, it has been a revolution in India. We have about 17,000 EdTech companies, 1,300 of them are funded, 7 unicorns, $14 billion in funding, and 3 anticipated IPOs. Not just that, we are also the third most funded ecosystem in the world after US and China. More importantly, while the private sector was putting in the hard yards, the government also came and helped us on this regard with their new education policy, wherein they emphasize the need of personalization and technology in the field of education. So it's all going good. But then the question arises that in this post-COVID era, do we really need EdTech and online educators? Is this EdTech sector not too crowded, and should we even invest in it? Well, the proof of the pudding is in eating it. And I'll come up with some numbers that will give you the size of opportunity. By 2030, India will need another 290 million new and skilled personnel in India's workforce. To give you the context, The entire population of US is 330 million. So we need an entire US in our workforce. Another number that I would like to point out is that we will have another 472 million students in the age bracket of 5 to 24 years. Talk that for scale. And finally, if we have to talk about the global numbers, yesterday Matt Tyndall was here, the MD of LinkedIn, and he said that they have 1.1 billion users on their platform, and they expect 70% of the skills that are needed to do jobs today to be changed by 2030. I would like to emphasize 70% of the skills will be changed. What does that mean? That means roughly about 700 to 800 million people need to be reskilled and upskilled. We are not talking about the new entrants, but the existing people who needs to be upskilled and reskilled. So it's pretty clear that the size of opportunity is massive, but then no opportunity ever comes without the challenges of its own. And we have the challenges. Unfortunately, these challenges have existed probably since the time of Takshila, the biggest challenge in the front of education world, which is the outreach. How do you get the students to your campus? How do you really reach out to these millions of people when there is low awareness in the society? When the customer acquisition cost, I would not like to use the word customers, but then that cost is really high and the conversion rates are really low. Well, that's where, as I said, we'll talk about the new kid on the block. AI is here to help us. AI can actually solve the problem of low awareness by smart outreach, by reaching out to the students on the medium of their choice, in the language of their choice, and at the time of their choice. It can improve the conversion efficiency and reduce the cost of new acquisitions, because it can actually intelligently match up students with the right counselors and nudge the counselors during the conversation to give them the right insights on what to talk about and how to close the conversation successfully. And it can also help you during the conversion as well by giving you personalized follow-ups, personalized messages, so that students can take the right decision on their career and not just opt out easily. And that's where LeadSquared is riding the vision, or rather riding this wave and coming up with their own vision on AI. We don't really want to create some AI-based functionalities which can be best termed as toys and not used after probably the first month. So we came up with the guiding principles on which we will be using AI to deliver value to our customers and solving their real challenges. First thing is that we would like to equip the decision makers with actionable insights so that they can take actions really well. Once the decision is taken, it is on to the implementers, and there we would like to automate the most mundane and time-consuming tasks for these frontline workers to make sure that they are efficient. And this vision, by the way, was not created sitting in some meeting room or in some cabin. We were actually hitting the road. We met the CTOs, CIOs, CEOs, COOs, CFOs, and whatnot of all the leading EdTech companies, and we are still willing for further collaboration with all of you. We met them and identified what are their needs. And we didn't stop there. We actually went to the call centers as well and saw how these people, the agents, were actually making sense out of thousands of leads that they have to manage on a daily basis. How they were putting in the data, how they were fetching the data, and how they were prioritizing their work and completing their work when they have thousands of people to call. That's when this vision actually came into being. I also have a few other slides which will talk about how we are reimagining the entire CRM portfolio, all three pillars of the CRM: sales, service, and marketing. But this is a conversation that we should have in person, and it will take a lot of time. So rather than going through the roadmap and things that are in beta, there are quite a few things which are in beta, and I would like to emphasize that we are looking for design partners in these AI-based features, because together we can build a feature which is really useful to you. So what is more important, I'll rather leave you with that, and that is the great words and the great value that our customers have seen by partnering with LeadSquared. So Upgrade has seen their lead response times have reduced from 36 hours to 30 minutes. I'll take a dramatic pause over here so that you absorb it. Top rankers have seen their student outreach improve by 18x. And College Vidya is looking forward to scale their counselors 3 times over to increase their efficiency and output. On that positive note, the counter is down to 6 seconds. I will take your leave, but I am willing to answer your questions, queries, take your inputs and suggestions to improve our product further. Because at LeadSquared, we believe, and that is to Sir Rajendra's point as well, that education, EdTech is not just a business. It is a movement to democratize education, and we are here to help. Thank you. Namaste.